Guys, welcome back to the Drone Camps channel. This topic right here is bigger than something like, should I get an electric mountain bike or should I get a regular mountain bike? In the forums, it's like blowing up. People are talking about this. Should I get a Cinewhoop? Should I get a Freestyle drone? We're going to talk about today what the differences are, and in this video, I'm going to share with you what my favorite pick is for beginners. Where should you start? Cinewhoop, 5-inch Freestyle drone. Now, one of the reasons that you're looking at the Geprc Mark IV on the left here and the Geprc Cinebot 30 is because, well, the Mark series is one of the most popular freestyle drone series out there of all time, as well as the iFlight Nazgul series. So right now, the two top bind and flies that you can get for 5-inch freestyle drones are the Nazgul 5 series, also the Evoke, and also the Mark 4 and 5 series. So if you can still get a Mark 4 out there, these are great freestyle quads. They rip, and this one actually has 4K DVR on board, so that's kind of cool. You don't have to carry a GoPro. We're going to talk about that as well in this video. A little introduction to FPV for beginners. Carrying a GoPro versus not carrying a GoPro, you will feel the weight of a GoPro on a freestyle drone. So if you can remove that weight, the quad flies much, much better. And most of the purists out there, they love to just record some old school standard analog DVR in their freestyle flights. And if you want to make one of those fancy Mr. Steel videos, carry the GoPro and try to make the gap. If you're kind of comparing it to something like a Cinewhoop, the Cinewhoop is a different type of animal. Both of these are so similar but different. Okay, so we have a 3-inch prop configuration on here. We have an 03 camera on board. This one, it has a center stack right here with an AIO board and the 03 right in the middle. And it's nice because this one, you don't necessarily have to carry a GoPro on because you have stabilized 4K video on this one as well. So both of these quads both have 4K video. This one is non-stabilized, this is DJI, and this is analog. So HD FPV here, and we have analog FPV here. You have the option also to put a TPU mount on top of these freestyle drones, the 5-inch category, to be able to carry and record some pretty sick, epic freestyle footage. And if you looked around Hollywood or Subaru commercials lately, you've seen that these drones, they're really being used more and more in cinema and on Netflix. Also, Cinewhoop style video is showing up everywhere, as well as real estate videos. So if you're looking to get into real estate videos, my pick out of the two would obviously be something like a 3-inch Cinewhoop or smaller. We also have the Cinelog 20, and we have the Cinelog 3.5 V2, I believe it was. We did a review on that one a while back. Now, if you want to carry an external camera on a Cinewhoop, you can do that here with a TPU mount just above where the 03 is, and then you can record a secondary backup 4K. So if you want to make sure that you come home with some video, a lot of times it's nice to have 2 camera systems on board to ensure that you get the shot for that day. But what's the big deal about Cinewhoops? Well, they've been some of the largest and biggest selling FPV drones out there in our industry for the past, I'd say, 3 or 4 years. They've really spiked up in interest, and mainly because we have ultra durable prop guards on here. And I'm using the Cinebot 30 as an example because some of the Cinelog series type of Geprc Cinewhoops, if you can listen to so many Cine stuff at the same time, they have been compromised as far as the durability of the prop guards. So the reports coming back from the internet say that the Cinebot 30, this one right here, that I'm going to put the link down below for, this one has tougher prop guards than some of the Cinelog series, and I have found that to be very true. I have hit the concrete with this one as well and not come home with a broken prop guard yet. Now, my best way to describe this is looking at the 5-inch drone on the left and the Cinewhoop on the right here. If you're going to buy a car, it really depends on you. It depends on the customer. When you walk into the dealership to buy a car, the salesperson is going to ask you what your needs are. And the same thing with these two types of drones. So are you the guy that wants to buy like a Ford Mustang, or you guy wants to buy a Ferrari? If you want to buy a sports car or something that goes fast and only has 2 seats, then you're probably going to want to buy something like the 5-inch Freestyle quad. If you want to go fast and take tight turns and do freestyle maneuvers and tricks and learn things like Mr. Steel can do, you're probably going to go for something like the 5-inch FPV Freestyle drone. That is the one that you should go for. Now, if you want something with a hatchback, 4 doors, and a little more economy to it, you want something that's going to get a little bit slower and be a little more, easy driving, then you're going to go for something like the Cinewhoop. The Cinewhoop is great at flying slow and low, but something like the Cinewhoop 30 can also do what we call mild freestyle. So this one's not a true freestyle drone, but it can do things like a Matty flip or a power loop or things like that without the addition of a GoPro on here. Adding extra weight to this one can sometimes have this one do what we call bottom out, coming back around from a loop, not enough power in the motors, and you hit the ground. This one, on the other hand, when you come back around from loops and things like that, you should have plenty of power on the top end of the throttle on a 6S battery on a 5-inch freestyle drone. So let's talk about it. Probably the most popular of all time is the 5-inch freestyle drone. When it comes to FPV, this is the type of drone that most everybody already has, and the Cinewhoop category has only become kind of a new thing in the past 4 to 5 years, I'd say. And we have seen tons of Cinewhoops come out, and this is a classic design right here. This is sort of a Stretch X version with a little bit of a long body in the middle. This is kind of what we call the classic long body design. You can get a pretty large battery on here. You could put something like a 6S 1500 on here on the back, and you're probably going to get around 4 to 5 minutes flight time if you're kind of flying like the average flyer. Now, if you're ripping hard, you're going to get around a 3.5 minute flight time without the GoPro on there. If you're rocking a GoPro, you're probably going to get 3 minutes. It really depends on your flying style and how high you are on the throttle. So higher throttle, it pulls more amps out of the battery and the ESCs, and you're draining more juice quickly out of the battery. So if you fly a little slower and you're what you call sport flying, you're just kind of doing mild flips and rolls and things like that, and learning acro, you're probably going to get 4.5 minute flight time, 5 minute flight time. There are other 5-inch out there that can get a much longer flight time. If you're a DJI guy coming over to this, you have to really look at this in comparison of like how much these batteries cost per DJI battery. If you're looking at the flight time of this and thinking, oh man, only 4 or 5 minutes, what are you talking about, Justin? That sucks. Well, you know, if you're paying only 20 bucks for a battery or 30 bucks for a battery, that's a lot cheaper. So you can have 4 or 5 batteries for the price of one DJI battery and get particularly around the same flight time. Plus, 5 minutes flight time on a 5-inch freestyle drone is quite intense, and after 5 minutes you're kind of ready to land and swap out a battery and start over anyway. Now, even though this 5-inch freestyle drone does not have prop guards on there, does that make it more safe or less safe? I would say it makes it a little less safe, but at the same time, this one has replaceable arms. So if you do crash, you can pull these arms off and replace them. So if you get a Geprc Mark V or a Nazgul 5, you can get parts from iFlight or Geprc. That's one of the best things about these quads, is that if you do get a bind and fly, you can kind of tiptoe your way into being able to work on your drone instead of building it right out of the bat, so right out of the gate. If you do build right out of the gate, you'll probably run into some issues with possibly having some problem somewhere between building it and being able to fly it for the first time. And you're going to have to go on the internet, probably even in our Discord, and say, hey man, what's going on in the beginner forum? We have a beginner forum on Discord. Tons of people are in there asking questions all the time. There's a million things that can pop up during a build. So your safest bet is to get a bind and fly. I am all about building though on the channel, and if you want to build first time, by all means, if you're that guy, jump into that and build for the first time. If you want to fly quickly, get yourself a bind and fly, bind it up, set it up in beta flight, and watch the tutorials and just jump in there and start flying, getting some packs in. So that's my recommendation there. But I will tell you, 5-inch is a blast to fly. So if you're the adrenaline junkie, this is the drone for you. So to get to the point of this video, what's my favorite beginner drone for 2023? Freestyle FPV drone on the right, or the Cinewhoop category? Can I get a drum roll, please, you guys? I know what you think I'm gonna say, but I'm probably gonna say something different here. I think my favorite beginner choice for this year in 2023, I would say, as far as the versatility, room to grow, and the overall enjoyment experience, I'm gonna have to pick the FPV Freestyle drone for my choice. If you start out right here, you're gonna be able to just have so much fun, so much speed, so much power, and you're going to be able to fix this if you crash it. You're going to be able to learn how to tiptoe your way into working on your quad, say replacing a stack. You're gonna go down that road. If you're going to go down the rabbit hole, go ahead and dive in. You're just going to dive in head first and forget where you even are in this process of flying FPV. It's just so addicting, so much fun, and my personality is full throttle. I love to fly fast, like my pants are on fire, and try to make those gaps at full speed. And that's my side of flying. I'm a little bit of adrenaline junkie. I come from kiteboarding and skateboarding and surfing, and that's what I love about FPV. It puts me back in that kind of extreme sports situation without having to like abuse and break my body anymore. I'm like a retired greyhound at this point, and my body hurts, but I can still go out and rip a pack and do those flips and rolls and things without having to do my whole body in the process. So I love it. Freestyle FPV to me is my favorite thing. I do love cinema, but it really depends on you. If you're a cinema guy and that's what you're going for, you need to do real estate videos, by all means, get yourself a Cinewhoop. If you want to go out there and have the most fun of your life in RC, get yourself a 5-inch FPV drone. You will freaking love it. If you want to put a comment down below which one's your favorite for beginner setup, go ahead and put the comments down there. Fire it up. Let me know what your opinion is. No, Justin, you're wrong. You know, Cinewhoop is the best beginner FPV drone. But in my opinion, yeah, FPV Freestyle is where it's at. It's my favorite thing, and I love it always. And you know, I have done a ton of Cinewhoop reviews on this channel, but FPV Freestyle remains my all-time favorite. Yeah, so Mark IV, Mark V, Nazgul 5, the Evoke series, also my favorite. And yeah, I'll put some links down below. You guys can pick from my favorites for this year. Still all-time favorites. The Mark V you will love it, as well as the Evoke series. So let me link you up down below. I appreciate you guys watching this channel and getting my opinion on this hot subject today. Which is better, FPV Freestyle drone or the Cinewhoop for beginners? Put your comments down below. I'm Justin Davis. Take care, and I will see you on the next video.